Can you?
Good morning all.
Morning.
To the extraordinary meeting of Newry and Scrooby Town Council on Wednesday 9th of April 2025. I request you silence your phones or other devices. No filming, photographing or audio recording of proceedings is allowed. Council asks that, as a matter of politeness, people tell the clerk of their intention to record. In the interest of encouraging public participation, it is requested that anyone filming does not include members of the public in shot.
I'm recording.
You probably noticed that we have Mr. John Buckley, who was successful in the casual vacancy appointment and election, and he is now taken up his position as a councillor, and he's signed the necessary documentation. So Mr. Buckley, or Councillor Buckley, you now commence your journey with the council.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm looking forward to making a contribution.
Agenda item 1, non-attendance of councillors. 1.1, to receive and note apologies from councillors who are unable to attend the meeting.
Councillors Osterman, Foot, Kendall.
Thank you. 1.2 is to consider reasons for absence provided by councillors who cannot attend and resolve acceptance of these if felt relevant.
Councillor Osterman, he's got a meeting, North Yorkshire Council meeting this morning. Councillor Foot has a medical appointment, and Councillor Kendall has just come off a night shift.
Thank you. Councillors, happy to acknowledge the receipt of the apologies and the reasons thereof. Okay.
Are you having a vote, Chair?
I can take a vote on it. All those in favour? And against?
Could that be recorded, please?
There's 2 agenda items there. What are you voting on? The first agenda item or the second?
The second.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, the second one.
So, it was 6 people for and 2 against.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Item 2 is declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of interest in items on this agenda.
Chairman, I need to declare an interest, not a pecuniary interest, but a general interest in the item that's to do with fracking. There are 2 items on the agenda. And the reason for that is I'm on the steering committee of the Factory Coastal Communities.
Are there any other further declarations of interest? Okay, thank you. Item 3 is the minutes. To approve and authorise the chairman to sign the minutes of the extraordinary meeting of council held on the 21st of February 2025. Council's wish that I sign these minutes.
Yeah.
All those in favour? Or any against? 3.2 is to approve and authorise the chairman to sign the minutes of the review and staffing committee meeting held on the 24th of February 2025.
I propose that we refer this back to the committee, Chairman.
So really, I need to ask first, does council wish me to sign these?
No,
And
Chairman,
and those,
I've made a proposal and it's been seconded, I think. So that is a proposal that's on the floor. So I think you need to, with due respect, listen to that first before voting.
well, at this stage, I need to just find out the result of the vote.
I think that's the wrong way round. The old saying is cart before the horse, Chairman.
Take advice from the clerk.
Can Mr Buckley repeat his proposal, please, so I can advise?
Yes.
Okay.
I propose, Chairman, that we refer this item back to the standing committee. And I'd like to speak to that in a moment, if I may.
Okay, Mr Buckley's made a proposal. I would hazard a guess he's probably proposing that it'll need seconding and you will then need to take a vote on that.
seconding.
Okay, councillors, you've heard Councillor Buckley's proposal. All those in favour of the proposal?
Chairman, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This hasn't yet been debated, so I don't see how you can put a vote to the council without it being debated.
Okay.
The proposal has been put forward, it's been seconded, and I now want to speak to that proposal.
If I may, the agenda item is to approve the minutes. Councillor Buckley has proposed that the matter is sent back to the staffing committee. That proposal has to be voted upon. There is no discussion on it, it is a statement of fact. He is proposing that it is referred back to the staffing committee. So people either vote yes, it is to be referred back to them, or no, it is not to be referred back to the committee. Depending upon what happens there leads on to the answer as to whether or not there is a subsequent vote to approve the minutes at this meeting.
Could I make a comment? Was it in the minutes as I proposed, your initial proposal is asking the council to vote on something they know nothing about. It mentions that vexatious behaviour, but there's no evidence of vexatious behaviour to support it. There's no names given. So what would councillors be voting for? It's nonsensical.
Right, Mr Chairman, as I've already said, there is a proposal that the minutes are sent back to the staffing committee. There is no need or justification for debating that. Either you vote to send them back to the staffing committee, or you do not vote to send them back to the staffing committee. It is as simple as that.
Okay, so councillors wish to have the minutes return to the vote on, yeah.
You
Yeah,
are voting
on
upon Councillor Buckley's proposal that this council sends the minutes back to the review and staffing committee.
All those in favour? And those against?
I find it incredible people voting for something they don't know about.
Just a mafia.
In that case, you now need to address the original motion which is
Yeah.
to approve and authorise the chairman to sign the minutes of the staff meeting.
Yeah.
You propose.
And
Can
against?
you, you're just going a bit too fast on this occasion.
Sorry.
Councillor Ball has proposed that, who has seconded it, please? Thank you. Okay, now I'm happy for the vote, please.
All those for? And those against?
Thank you.
Yeah. Item 4 is the external reports. 4.1 is the police to receive and note report for March 2025 incidents covered by the rural policing team. All had copies, and does anybody wish to make any comments on the report? I just going through one about the use of vehicles in the forestry areas and things like that, and I just wonder whether they use drones nowadays, which have got heat-seeking devices within them. I would have thought that would have been a benefit for them, particularly in such great areas that they're trying to cover.
Perhaps we could ask the police if they will.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can answer that question for you. They do have drones. And they
Yeah.
do use them.
Alright, that's fine. Alright, thank you. So nothing further on the police report. 4.2 is the joint council working group on fracking to receive a report tabled at the meeting from this council's representative and agree action as appropriate. So, councillor Nancy Ford.
Chair. Yeah, councillors have the update reporting. The working group have more or less finished their work now, and we're making our reports to the three councils. Europa submitted their application in February, and specifically for construction of a temporary well site for the appraisal of gas, including a drilling operation, proppant squeeze and flow testing and site restoration. But the working group felt, from an early stage that this was misleading, and we should consider it as a long-term development rather than a temporary one. Europa has, referred to possibility of drilling from this site for 10 or 20 years, and it's obvious that if this temporary application were granted and they found gas in commercially exploitable quantities, that they would inevitably apply for a long-term planning permission. And also on they are give the game away on their planning statement. It says, it titles it a construction of a well site and operation and for appraisal and retention of equipment. So I think we know what their intentions are, so we recommend that and we're going to recommend to North Yorkshire Council that we look at this as a long-term development. We've looked at the planning application documents and we've sought views of various sort of local people with some relevant knowledge of some of the issues. And we've met with representatives of Europa, asked them questions, we held a site visit, I think it was last week, and all three councils have also had drop-in sessions. We had a drop-in session here a couple of weeks ago. Overwhelmingly, local people are opposed to this application, and so the joint working group is recommending that we tell North Yorkshire Council that we think they should refuse this application. I know that there's been a lot of support for the local campaign because this application involves fracking, and there's been some question about Europa have tried to persuade people that it's not actually fracking. But under the definition in the Mineral and Waste Joint Plan, it would come within the definition of fracking. But the Mineral and Waste Joint Plan doesn't actually prohibit fracking. So we can't use that as the main reason for refusing the application. But there are other policy reasons, planning policy reasons within the joint plan, and generally in the national planning framework that would justify refusing the application, we believe. And so that's what we're recommending and what I'm recommending to this council. I think at this meeting today, I think we've got two options. We can either decide to accept the working group's recommendation and authorise the town clerk to submit our detailed response to North Yorkshire once it's been finalised, and I'm working on it at the moment. Or we could defer the decision to a single item extraordinary meeting, perhaps in the week after Easter, which members would have the opportunity to look at the report in detail, and as perhaps members of the public might want to view that if we're able to put it with the agenda online. I might wish to speak to it. So I think on balance, perhaps option 2 is preferable, but I leave it to the council.
Okay, I'll look for that. Councillors wish to make any comment at this stage? Yes, sir.
I've got just a couple of things. In the list of negative effects of the fracking, air quality, I think mention of air pollution because certainly the health impact we've already got in that area from air pollution. It's just something I feel it should be mentioned. And the other thing is wildlife. I see migrating birds coming in across that area. To do it every year. I mean, some of the birds fly a lot of miles, and if their landmarks get destroyed, we lose those birds. And the other thing is crested newts on that site, and that's not mentioned. And I think that's it, Chair, for now. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Councillor Marley makes a good point. There is a report in the planning documents that are submitted by Europa about the wildlife, but it is quite meagre, and any of the locals could have told us there's much more wildlife there than they have apparently found. So I will be including that.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Councillor Buffett.
Thank you, Chairman. I would wish to warmly congratulate Councillor Ball and the other councillors who have been working on this study, because it is important. It's important to the people of Burniston, but it goes right down to here. Underneath our feet now is this gas field. It goes further that way. The plan is to drill up to the sports hall from Burniston. So they have the technology to go right under Scorby, right under Newby, and right under Kraus and Burniston. So the report I think is great, and thank you very much for that. The independent ecology report that you mentioned, and I should have said, Chairman, I've already put a declaration of interest in about this. But the independent ecology report, I thought it was, as you say, very meagre. It was a desk study. It was paid for by Europa, of course. They had a one-day field visit, and surprisingly, in June or July, I can't remember the date of it, they found 4 birds, which is surprising. I used to live just a few hundred yards away from this site. So yesterday with a friend, I went for a walk at the invitation of the Duchy and the farmer, and I went through to the site from the back field. So it's from Field Lane, Crox Lane, that direction, going through a field which is 2 or 3 fields which are surprisingly abundant in wildlife. We saw 8 deer. Now I couldn't swear that we saw 8 individual deer because they all look the same, but there were family groups, and we saw 3 sets of family groups. And I think when you did your councillors' visit, your site visit, I think one of the councillors saw 3 or 4 deer, and another, I think it was you, saw 2 hare.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the plural of hares, and get that sorted out. But we saw 8 deer, we saw about 8 or 9 hares, we heard hundreds of birds, and I had a little app with me which identified quite a lot of rare birds. There's lots of gorse there. It's a network of badger tracks.
Yes.
And yet, when we get to this little parcel of land, and it's only a bit over an acre, isn't it? It's not very much. Suddenly, all this wildlife disappears. I don't believe it. I don't believe that there's such a thing as an independent consultant. Consultants, if they don't say what their sponsor wants them to say, then they are not invited back to produce another report. So independence is something that I always question. So just to go on to the documents, I believe they've got 47 documents over just approaching 1,000 pages, and I can report to you now that we have over 1,000 objections, only 3 of which I have seen have been in support, and 2 of those were very confused, I have to say. And I think I'll pause at that, I'll stop at that, Chairman, because it seems to me that this report tells everything that we need to do. If it comes to whether this should go to, whenever this is discussed at council, I will declare an interest and I will not take part in that, because I don't think with my links with the Free Coastal Communities group, I should take part in it. So I won't take part in that, but I would strongly recommend that we do have this public extraordinary general meeting, as Burniston and Cloughton are doing, so that members of the public can discuss this. We had over 200 people at the Rotary Club attend the meeting, and we had 250 people on a march from the village hall to the site. So, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Buckley. And Councillor Buckley, have the observations that you've just mentioned to me, have they already been submitted to Ida Helen?
I'm sorry,
adding
Chairman,
into
I
her-
missed what you said. I have to say, I have a hearing loss. I've worked with gas turbine engines for too long, so you need to speak to me.
Councillor Buckley?
Yeah.
Have your observations that you've mentioned already there been relayed to Councillor Mrs. Ball.
I will gladly
For-
send you my letter of objection, which I think covers most points, but there's going to be a follow-up because I am really worried about some of these misleading statements that your builder have made. Let me put it charitably.
Yeah,
But I will do that, Chair.
But your observations about the bird life, etc.,
Yes.
have they been
I
relayed?
know,
Are you
I'm actually
prepared to do
drawing up
that?
a report now,
Okay.
and I will send that to Councillor Ball and others.
Okay. Thank you. So, any other councillors wish to make any more
Richard,
comments?
I would propose option 2. Option 1 is the first, that the clerk or the council has submitted a report that the public don't see until it's submitted. I think you should hear what the people have to say, and I know it's an extraordinary meeting, but probably you'll have a public open forum for that one. Would that be in order?
I've just listened to what you've said there, thank you, and I'm just about to relate the rest to the council. So, councillors, you have the options of either accepting item 1, the town council make the decision to accept the joint working thing and submit that, or 2, that you include a special extraordinary meeting to discuss it sometime after Easter.
Chairman, I think that is an item on the agenda, that the 1 and 2 that you're referring to are not on the agenda. I think, is it some point something that the discussion about that should take place under the planned items?
Can I answer?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
The agenda item is to receive the report, which is here, and to agree action as appropriate. There are 2 recommendations within the report. You are agreeing action as appropriate, therefore one of those 2 recommendations could be the appropriate action for council to agree.
This will just,
I accept that, Chairman, thank you.
okay. So, councillors, do you wish to take 1 first? Do you wish to agree to that action to be taken?
Which
So
action,
of-
Richard? There's
So,
2. You have to specify.
1 is the town council could make a decision to accept the joint working group's recommendation and authorise the town clerk to submit the detailed response once it has been finalised. Is that council's decisions that you wish to make?
I think Councillor Ball was proposing item 2, which is have a special, an extraordinary general meeting, the public open forum, so that this can be discussed in a wider context rather than just the council.
Yes, council.
Thank you, Chair. Just as a bit of an aside, there is worldwide interest, and I'm not saying that to exaggerate, be big and clever or anything else. Obviously, these events have occurred abroad much more than we know about. So, at the moment, I think option 2 would be the one to follow on from all the interest there is abroad. Does that make sense?
Can I also propose that if we go for option 2, we have to go for a bigger building, because I think we'll have a lot more people coming. A lot more
I
people.
agree.
Yes, we will have to make that as a necessary requirement. Sure. So,
Chairman,
sorry?
shall I propose option 2, and then it makes it easier to discuss?
Well, if we take it as 1 and then 2.
All right, if that's the way you want to do it,
then
that's fine.
that will determine it, won't it? So, does council wish to go with option 1? Okay. Councillors wish to go with option 2. All those in favour? Any against?
And obviously, Chairman, it will need a public open forum in that, because that's a purpose of the meeting.
So,
absolutely correct, Chair.
Yeah.
The purpose of the meeting would be for the council to make a decision,
Yeah.
but I do suggest that members of the public might wish to address the council.
Thank you for that correction, Councillor Hall.
Okay, so, item 2 was the one chosen by the council, okay? So, we just need to be, our clerk to be able to, sort out the venue and, the actual meeting date.
I can't do that here.
No. Okay, thank you very much for your report, Councillor Hall, and the others participating as well. Thank you. Item 5, updates on various matters, clerks or councillors' reports and items. 5.1 is parking on the green, request for double yellow lines, minute 8.25.6.2 refers. To note, North Yorkshire Council will not agree to introduce no waiting restrictions.
Can I ask, Chair, is there a connection between 5.1 and 6.1? Because one's parking on the green and the other one's about traffic offences near the school, which is near the green.
There's no connection.
Excellent, no.
Thank you.
No. Yeah, it says it's a
1
point.
noted.
Yep, 5.1's been noted, thank you. 5.2 is to note the clerk's report that 3 Freedom of Information requests have been received since 1st 25 and responded to.
Chairman, can I ask it for some more detail about that? What the subjects were any of them frivolous in any way?
I'm
I
afraid
think
not.
not,
The
yeah.
only thing that can be revealed is that there have been 3. The rest of it is not a matter of the public record.
Yeah. Okay. 5.3 is to note the clerk's report that 1 Freedom of Information request from August 2024 is the subject of an ongoing investigation by the Information Commissioner's Office.
I think it would be wrong of me not to declare an interest in that one, Chairman, because I think that is me.
So we need to get
I have already handed a declaration of interest form to council, so
Yeah,
if
you
you
go on
can
then.
ensure that it goes on there,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
So is 5.3 noted?
Yeah, noted, yes, thank you. 5.4 to note the clerk's report that objections lodged by 2 persons against the 2023-24 league are the subject of ongoing investigations by the external audit PKF Littlejohn.
And again, Chairman, to be fair, I do feel I need to declare an interest in that, so it will be added to the list.
Okay.
And I should declare an interest too.
Councillor Towers, please. Can you pass that on for Councillor Towers? Thank you. 5.5 to note the clerk's report. A parishioner had requested the pavement on Scorby Road between Beach Drive and Scorby High Street to be sided out. The request had been forwarded to North Yorkshire Council, who have carried out the necessary work.
It looks
Okay.
quite neat, Chairman.
Okay, good. 5.6 is to receive reports from councillors of any highway and footpath matters requiring attention. Any councillors wish to report anything?
there's a dip in the road on Scorby Road between the Rosette and the bottom of the hill, and it seems to be getting deeper and deeper. And I just wonder if the clerk's aware of it and whether it's been reported to highways.
It's probably something to do with the fracking. Right, okay. Chair, thank you for your observation on that.
Comedian.
From Councillor Buckley, the club
Yeah.
is only too well aware of it, and so are highways.
Okay.
If I was to say it fits into the let it develop category as far as highways are concerned,
Yeah.
and the monitoring it.
Thank you.
Okay, any further reports on local issues in particular? No? Okay, thank you. 6, correspondence, 6.1, persistent traffic offences near Newby and Scorby Primary School, to receive an email redacted from one of the school governors and agree action as appropriate.
Can I make a suggestion, Chair? These were produced some time ago by the police parking at school and keep everyone safe from the school room. And they were well received. And this council had a load of these done and delivered. Well, I've got three here. If you want to I would suggest these be reproduced and handed round the school and parents. Can you pass it forward? We can read it.
Chair, the correspondent does suggest making green a one-way street. I wonder if that would be something that the council could support, and would that be useful? So make it one way going in.
For years,
I think it has to be.
For years, there has been a voluntary one-way system that the school advised people about. The clerk normally writes to the school before the summer holidays finish, so that the new intake are made aware of it all. And that works to some degree. I think that was done because councils at the time could not get a one-way system in both. It involves quite a long area, doesn't it? But if you could try again.
Chair, can I propose that we approach the highway authority and suggest that they introduce a one-way system around the green?
Yeah,
Past the school?
yeah, I think that's, if it's feasible to be able to put that into operation, that will be useful for that.
And can I propose that we print some of those leaflets off and or give them to the school to print off to hand out to parents?
Yeah, I think the second suggestion may well be worthwhile for us to do that. So,
If I may suggest, I think before we distribute these leaflets, we ought to double check with North Yorkshire
Oh, sure.
that nothing has altered, because it is 2 or 3 years since they first handed us these.
Yeah.
Basically just to cover ourselves. And the other thing, in terms of referring to highways, are you wanting me just to refer to highways for a one-way system, or are you wanting to make it a broader generic referral to highways to see if they can suggest any other alternatives?
Yeah, I think so. I think if we can give them that option, that they can come up with something better.
A member of the public who lives on the green would just put his hand up for a minute, might have something useful to say.
Okay, so
Yeah.
take your comment.
We've had problems on the green for many a year. Councillor Reg Towns has helped us in the past, as a clerk is fully aware of. Many residents actually agree with the idea, the concept of a one-way system. I've spoken with them recently. However, why can't we have like an investigation, an outside body that comes along and assesses this, and actually gives the council and the local residents some positive kind of results or alternatives. There is problems of car parking of staff. Now, I've seen that there's a bit of land, the playing fields, that'll be going up for disposal. I'm just wondering, could the staff car park not be moved onto that land, which frees up more parking along the green? I'm getting a bit nervous now, so I apologise. But there is a problem there. We've got cones along, as Johns knows. They've worked. There was a request for more yellow lines. Now, yesterday, or day before yesterday, somebody turned up and they've repainted the lines, which are a good positive way forward. But a governor is suggesting now bollards be installed. We'd like to know, or I'd like to know, where are these bollards going to go? What are they for? Is it the bollards that we've already got? Because they are quite untidy, the ones that we've got. They are effective. So maybe we could have like permanent bollards along that side, or better still, yellow lines or one-way system. So somehow the parents need to be kind of educated. And in the past, as Reg said, it has worked. If we educate at the beginning of the term or beginning of the school year, it does somewhat. Do people follow what others have done? So, I don't know, it could be that leaflets is a good way forward, but a one-way system would support it, definitely, and bollards would support it. And staff, there is, since I've lived there, which is probably about 15 years, we've noticed that on the bend by the playing fields, more and more staff or people associated with the school are parking there, which has basically taken away the drop-off and collection point. So maybe the staff could be spoken to. Car sharing, there's an alternative. Or as I say, there could be playing fields be used for staff car parking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. I just wonder whether yourself and other residents that live nearby and have got families and are attending the school with their children, whether you could get all together and put in your various proposals and thoughts to both the county council and presumably with regards to copies to the school as well.
We have done in the past. Yes, we have done in the past, as the clerk knows. We've prepared a petition previously, and even though I'm nervous now, I speak with the community and they speak with me. Now, if the council yourselves gave me some indication, positive indication, I will definitely go forward with the residents, and I can assure you I will get their support. If it's a positive way forward. They support one-way system, but as I say, if North Yorkshire Council can kind of do an investigation, come up with something, I can then take that to the residents.
Okay.
Yeah, they're quite happy at the moment of time. They're quite happy with the cones, even though they look untidy, because they've actually served a purpose, and that's what they're looking for. Two-way traffic does cause a big issue.
Sure. Well, noted your comments and etc., and we'll see what the outcome that we receive from North Yorkshire Council when we submit these to them and our requests about the possibility of one-way system, etc., and see whether, you know, be able to become involved within that.
We'd also like to know actually what the school governor what they're actually suggesting. We've seen a redacted comment,
Yeah.
but we don't know what they're, we don't even know who the school governor is. We've tried to speak with the school for years, and we've been blocked.
Okay, right, thanks. Well,
Well, just
we'll
to
see
say-
where we can progress from that here. Councillor Ford, where you want to make?
No, I would just, I think there's been a proposal, added to, by the clerk's suggestion,
Yeah.
is there a second there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Chairman, I just wondered whether a joint approach from the school and the council, perhaps with input from local residents, is the way forward. If a sort of joint letter to the Highways Authority is the thing that would help it, because clearly we can't allow this long-standing problem affecting the safety of children leaving the school, because that's what it's really about.
Yeah, that's basically what we're trying to establish, yeah. Councillor Towers, did you want to make a comment or something?
Yes, we did try issues with the school previously, and I think it's a good idea to try again. The school aren't very helpful. When we brought in the parking initiative, the cars parked near the school on the crossbars or on the yellow lines were predominantly teachers' cars. So the school, outside the school gates, they just did not want to know. But that doesn't mean to say we shouldn't try again.
Okay.
Is it
Yeah,
worth
thanks.
bringing a parking enforcement officer up when the school opening times are and getting the presence of them? It might spur them on a little bit.
Before the parking initiative, well, when the parking initiative came in some years ago, I used to spend every morning at that school. And I stood and watched policemen with parking enforcement officers stand next to cars on double yellow lines and take no action. And it wasn't until they were filmed and photographed and it was taken to their superiors that something was done. When they started using the parking initiative things, they issued 18 tickets and the resident would tell you the matter was as good as it's ever been. Now if they got back to that, you'd be very happy. Unfortunately, North Yorkshire Council, the police, and parking services, whatever, have let the parking initiative slip and go away because it doesn't make them money. But it should be resurrected. I think that could be mentioned there as well.
But
Yeah,
now
thank you.
you're a
Thank you
town
for all your
council,
comments.
surely you've got more authority.
Sorry?
Yeah,
And now you're a town council, surely you've got more authority.
Not in this council, no.
Oh,
alright, thank you for your comment. So we had the proposal, Councillor Ford, you were.
Yeah, I proposed that, as the clerk said, we approach North Yorkshire Council,
Yeah.
with the suggestion that they,
Regarding the one-way
introduce a one-way system
system.
or any other, options that they can suggest.
Okay. So, councillors happy with that proposal, all those in favour, that's the action we take. Any against? Okay. 6.2 is to note North York Moors National Park Coastal Forum meeting will take place at Burniston and Cloughton Village Hall on Monday, 28th to the 4th, 25 at 7 p.m. As a council's representative, I would hope to be going in the normal way that I've attended in the past. Councillor
Thank you, Chair. As the representative on the national parks, the parish forums have been a big drop off gradually over, I think, about the last 8 years, something like that. To the point which, fortunately, I couldn't attend at a meeting at Loftus. I understand there were 8 officers from the national parks turned up, and there were only, it was either 3 or 4 general public turned up, which obviously is just a total waste of money, you know, for paying the staff of the national parks. So at the moment, they're asking the likes of me, can we come up with any suggestions to reinstate the interest there used to be in the national parks? But Richard is perfectly correct. The next meeting will be at Burniston, and you just give them a date, Richard.
Yeah, 28th of April.
Yeah. And basically everybody welcome.
Do council still get reports from the representatives?
Yes,
Right,
Yeah.
I've not heard one since I rejoined.
yeah, either direct from myself if I've been, or as Bob is the representative on the Parks Authority, then he provides a report, and that's submitted to the council here for anyone's
Thank you.
observation. Thank you. 6.3 proposed,
Chairman.
sorry,
I have my hand up.
sorry,
I've got my hand up. I suspect, Councillor Marley, that you will get a lot of people at the Burniston Parish Forum because of the things that the Europa Oil and Gas are proposing. And they'll be disappointed that North Yorkshire, the North Yorkshire National Parks, have not opposed this proposal.
Yes, they have.
Have they?
They have.
I haven't seen their comments.
No, I don't suppose you have. There's a recent announcement, I'm trying to remember exactly what it said, but there has been one. National parks, for whatever reason, are viewing the situation from a distance, because I think that's something to do. But we keep stirring them up,
Yeah.
do the best we can.
Okay. I just suspect that there'll be a lot of people there.
okay, thank you. 6.3 is proposed disposal of land at Scobie School in Plainfield adjacent to Green. Received letter enclosed from North Yorkshire Council and in public comments to hand, and agree a response. So we've seen the documentation and letter and the map indicating the area in particular. Councillors have any comments they wish to make on it?
There is a lot of concern, Chair, in the community about what could happen to this land if the North Yorkshire Council dispose of it. And there's a large green patch in the middle of Newby. I think it's something that the local community would like to keep as a green field and a recreation area, for want of a better word, rather than do that. And from there on, I would hope that this council looks at an asset transfer of that land rather than let it go to development. And it could be used by the community as an asset for sports activities, any other recreation activities that you can do in a nice green area. But if you lose that to some kind of building, it's a massive amenity to lose. And I would strongly suggest that look at asset transfer. I note that in the letter from the council they actually mention interested parties included in schools, parish councils, etc. So I think there's probably a little nod there somewhere. Thank you.
Is the playing field just used by the school at the present time?
No, it's used by outsiders as well, I understand.
Yeah, football.
Is it local league football that takes place?
Yes.
Yeah. Local league football takes place there. Apart from school.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question of Councillor Towns? Are you proposing that this is adopted as a community asset by the parish council?
Yes.
Sounds like a good idea to me, Chairman, because we don't get, in Newby, and not so much Screwby, but in Newby, it's a lot of housing with very few, call them community assets. So anything that preserves a bit of green for the future is always to the good. And as people have said, the games being played there outside of school hours, during the holidays and so on. So it's not just Scorby School to use, it is a community asset now, and it should remain one. Thank you.
And our population is increasing.
Right.
Propose an amendment, Chair.
Yeah, no.
Can I propose that we respond to North Yorkshire Council by saying that we have no objection to the disposal of the school site, but that we would ask that the playing field site be maintained as a public amenity.
Sounds good to me, Chair.
So, councillors, you have heard that proposal from Councillor Ball. Do you feel you wish to?
I'll second that, Chair.
Second that. Okay, so seconded by Councillor Buckley. All those in favour for to? Are there any against? Okay.
Are you including the fact that you want to consider asset of community value transfer or not?
I think
Yes.
that's something which,
I think
are we able to just indicate an interest?
You can express a
Broad
broad interest.
interest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that may be the way
Yeah.
to do it, yeah.
rather
At
than
this stage, without
going to
making it.
formalities.
Oh, we're not committing
Yeah,
ourselves
sure.
just yet, yeah.
Yeah, sure, okay. 6.4 is to receive email redacted from parishioner alleged problems with Scorby School pupils and agree action as appropriate.
Can I give you the council's slight update on this, please?
Yes, please do.
The parishioner adopted a scattergun approach, and one of the people he contacted was North Yorkshire Ward Councillor Bastiman. As I understand it from what Councillor Bastiman has sent to me, he has managed to get the bike gathered up and various other things. In terms of the problems with, or should I say the alleged problems with pupils of Scorby School, there's not a great deal that can be done about that. Once the children are out of school, so I'm led to believe.
A note on the letter, Chair, that it says parishioner also emailed North Yorkshire Councillor Bastiman, who dealt. Do we know, should council really know what happened, what was dealt with? We don't know what's happened. The clerk gave a slight information, but a bit more information. But
Okay.
Looking at this, Councillor Bastiman raised it with the local policing team. He agreed that what the children was doing wasn't good enough. And as I understand it, it's been raised with the local policing team. There isn't more than that written on this email, but he did ring me and his words were, it's been dealt with. More than that, I can't say, unfortunately.
Chairman, the old saying is it takes a village to raise a child. And here we've got an example of some children on their way home, and in some societies it would be regarded as high spirits and boyish pranks, but in others it's just that on that road to doing things that we don't want children to be doing. And I think this parishioner has tried to provide the guidance that we expect of parents and teachers and so on, etc. I do agree with what it says in here, that it's not the teacher's responsibility once a new school, but it is the teacher's responsibility or the school's responsibility to inform parents of problems of this nature. So I wonder if the parish council can politely, as always, write to the school and ask them to just remind their pupils and the parents of those pupils about not just this incident, but it does need nipping in the bud. It needs the sort of approach the village would take. Don't do that, Tommy, otherwise I'll tell you Mum at bingo on Thursday night. That's the sort of approach. So the second thing is we have very good relations with our community support officers, and I wonder if they could take an impromptu stroll along there at about that time of the day, because, you know, just seeing the presence of the local body who knows kids will help to nip this in the bud as well. And then that parishioner and other parishioners will think that we're trying to do our best to do something about it. It's part of our remit as a parish council to try to do something about local crime. They're my suggestions.
Thank you for that. Do councillors wish that to be incorporated within our response? And also, I think whatever we need to do, we need to definitely incorporate that within Councillor Basterman, because he's been dealing with it more face-to-face basis, bring him up to speed on what suggestions are, etc. Councillor, happy to go along with that?
Yes.
Okay. I need to vote on it. All those in favour?
And this is to contact the local officers, the local police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
I understand it used to write to the school, contact the PCSOs.
Yeah.
Asking the school to contact the PCSOs.
I think we can do that as well, Sharon.
That's exactly
No,
what I said. As
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand it,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
for us to contact the school and refer to
PCSOs.
PCSOs.
I didn't hear what the clerk said.
So-
Having a hearing loss, people need to speak clearly to me, otherwise I don't catch it.
Okay. You can come in a bit closer if you wish to take a seat another time closer.
At another time, maybe. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so happy with that, that's what our response will be. Thanks for that. Okay with Clark? 6.5 is to receive an email redacted to Councillor Towers from parishioner Lee speeding problems on Barmore Lane. And Councillor Towers requests for a VAS sign to be placed nearby and agree action as appropriate.
I think the police need to go up with the speed
Sorry,
trap.
Sorry, Janet.
I think the police need to go up with the speed trap. It's absolutely diabolical up there. It really is diabolical. The come back, I was a couple of months ago, I was coming down and he was literally on my tail, and so I pulled over and was going back at me. It was horrendous. It just literally put the foot down and that's it, they're off.
Mm.
You know, so I think personally it's time we had a speed trap up there for a couple of days.
Okay, thank you, Janet. Councillor Towers.
Can I say something a lot of time? There is already brackets on lamppost 10. If you'd like to hand that forward, please, John. All it needs is one of the vast signs that this council owns. It's put on there and used. It's been there for years. There's a picture, shows the fittings that's on the lamppost, the number of the lamppost. Why are we not doing it?
Do you want to contact the police and ask them to do some spot checks, present
Excuse me, Chair.
before we go
You
to
don't
the
need
next
the
step?
police, we have a vast sign,
Yeah.
and one of those
Yeah.
signs will regulate, and sorry sorry, will analyse the speed of every vehicle that passes it. All it needs is someone to take that sign, put it on the lamppost that's designated by everybody, the county, the highways, everybody, it's legal. And we can then say whether it needs further action or not, because it will tell us whether the complainant is correct in his assumption that the speeds are very high, or it will say they're not very high. And it takes roughly 20 minutes to half an hour to put that sign in situ.
So,
So I suggest that that sign is put in Barmore, on Barmore, lamppost 10, for a month to see what the readings are.
so the
It's
existing
simple
one that we've got, just remove it and place it in a position
Well,
that you're indicating.
This council own two.
Yeah.
One
One.
will record the speed of every vehicle passing it. They should technically be moved around the 7 or 8 locations in the parish every 6 weeks. But that's not a hard and fast rule. But they should be moved around, I'm sure the clerk's aware. They just need
Okay.
the appropriate data collecting VAS sign put in on a lamppost. There's 2 brackets, it clicks in, you push it, thing into the electric supply, and away it goes.
Can I ask Councillor Towns a question on that, please, Chairman?
Yeah.
Is it?
Who is it? Who is it that does it? Is it you that does it?
I used to do it.
You used to do it. Who would do it if, so I'm not very good on that design there. So, who does it is the question.
Right. Okay. Any comments? Okay. Councillors, do you wish to proceed with this, with the removing the one of the existing speed signs and having it placed in?
Is councillor Tower volunteering to do that?
No, at 8 years old, I'm not doing that anymore.
I think our health and safety
And I
regulations would
think,
have that.
I think alternative arrangements have been made since my last resignation. Other people were doing it, or another person was doing it. So probably the clerk can help in that.
Right. So, councillors, do you wish the speed sign to be placed in there? And we'll sort out about who's doing it at a later stage. At this point, I just want in principle that you're going to, all those in favour? Not any against? Okay. So, be able to organise the positioning of the thing and sorting out it's getting in place. Thanks very much. 6.6 is correspondence received after the 2nd of the 4th 25, which the chairman of the meeting deems it necessary to consider as a matter of urgency. Have you had anything that's
I'll bring to your attention.
Thank you. Item 7, finance, regulatory and general matters. 7.1 is to ratify the schedules of accounts payable for March 2025, Schedule 12 and Schedule 12A, which were authorised for payment by Councillor Smith and Thompson. Councillors happy to ratify that and for me to sign the
Can I point out, Chair, that we don't seem to be following financial regulations or standing orders regarding how this is done. Well, we continue not to.
The clerk, if you wish to make any comment on this.
No, the agenda item is quite clear. It's up to council to decide what they wish to do.
Propose we ratify the schedules.
Okay. All those in favour for signing the accounts? Were there any against? Okay.
two.
Oh, one of the two.
Do after the meeting.
Seven point two is to authorise the schedule of accounts payable for April 2025. Is it council's wish that I sign these off? All those in favour? Any against? Thank you. Seven point three is the risk assessment and propose to approve the document updated the 20th of the 3rd, 25. So,
Could I suggest perhaps on item 2A, instead of within 24 hours, maybe next working day, just in case it's the weekend?
sorry Helen, what was the
On
specific one you
on
said?
2A, banking, it's,
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm with
it's
you now.
under control, it says all banking to be carried out on the day cash checks or casual checks are received or within 24 hours at latest. Well, if they're received on a Friday, you won't be able to do it within 24 hours, so I was suggesting
Yeah,
say next
I'm with you.
working day.
Well, it isn't too that's feasible for us to.
I probably have a better quarterly problem.
If that's what council wants to alter it to on the day, or do you want to remove within 24 hours and insert on the next working day? Is that what you're suggesting?
Carried out on the day received or on the next working day.
In that case, why don't not alter it to no later than the next working day?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So if I alter it to no later than the next working day after the cash checks have been received.
So is it, Councillor Buckley?
On 2J, Chairman, power to spend, and I think that's a very important aspect of what council does. So I wonder if you wouldn't mind explaining how the council ensures that all its expenditure is made within the legal framework, what that legal framework is, and how they make those decisions.
So, I'll give it
It goes on an agenda and council approves it. In a nutshell.
Every item of expenditure goes on to a council agenda, a full council agenda, and it's approved by the council. Because I haven't always seen that. I'm sure we'll discuss that in other ways at other times, but I haven't always seen that.
You will find that all expenditure is minuted. Expenditure does not take place which has not been minuted as having taken place.
Okay.
Whether that's standing orders,
Yes.
as in bank standing orders and direct debits, I'm meaning not constitutional standing orders.
Thank
Things
you
like
for
that's
that.
recorded in minutes.
Thank you for that explanation, Chair.
Chair. I've read this, it's quite interesting, but it's more like, rather than I wouldn't call it a risk assessment, it's a statement regarding the council's position. Banking, lots of cash and cheques, and then the control of them. But it's not identifying hazards, it's not deciding who might be harmed and how. It doesn't evaluate risks and decide on precautions or potential hazards, or determine the likelihood or impact to those at risk. And I don't think it's, in my opinion, it is not a risk assessment. It's a statement of risk.
Okay, thank you for your comments. You mentioned we're following all the correct guidelines on that's been issued with regard to this. Yeah, sure.
It's been in existence since 2016.
No.
You look at the last page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chairman, I didn't hear what the Vice Chairman said then.
It's been in existence since 2016.
So,
So nothing's changed over that time, otherwise it's been updated.
so.
So what's the problem there? If it
The
was all right,
problem
if
is
it
nobody's
was,
seen it in the state it's in now.
nothing's changed. It's just
Were
been
you here in
updated.
2016?
No, I wasn't, but you were.
Ah, that's what we're getting at. Thank you. It's personal.
It's not personal.
Just because I
No,
queried
no,
it.
you're querying it of something that you should
2016,
know
I
about,
don't
that you
recall,
approved in
I don't recall
2016.
seeing this document previously.
Well, you must have done.
I'm
In
telling you now,
2016.
I do not recall seeing this document
Well, we'll have to
previously.
go online to the meeting agenda
No,
in
go on.
2016.
Go on and check it.
Fine.
Chairman, can you call order here, please?
2016, 2018. I'm sorry, but it's all private.
Fine. I'm stating today, with the information in front of me, that is not proper risk assessment.
Well, maybe you should have considered that in 2016.
If I'd seen the
Chairman,
document,
Yeah.
if I'd seen the document, Councillor Smith, I would have done.
In order to prevent there being a blazing row at council table,
Yeah,
which is
no.
most unseemly, can we take a vote on the item under
Yeah.
discussion, please?
Chairman, we haven't got on, are you taking a vote on the financial aspects, or are you going on to the wider risk assessments?
You are
We're
taking a
taking a
vote
vote
on
on-
the document which is in front of you and which was with the agenda.
So, I would like to ask a question about Fowlside Pond, which is, if I can find it. I thought we were going to do this in two parts, you see. Can anyone help me out? Where does Fowlside Pond?
3C.
3C, thank you, Clerk. So, that's a little summary, and I have seen, the clerk has kindly provided me with a much larger document about Fowlside Pond. And I suppose my concern is that some years ago there were £20,000 that have been allocated by the council to Fowlside Pond in order to improve the safety and to make it a very pleasant place for families to go to. People do. But it must be done safely. And I think just going back to what Councillor Smith was saying, during Mr Towsey's, Councillor Towsey's chairmanship, there was that £20,000 put aside, and it's been lost to that cause. I can't see where the expenditure was made.
Mr
I don't
Chairman,
see-
can I suggest that you ask council to vote on what is in front of them, not to go all around the houses and spread the issue out as wide as can possibly be done. the agenda is there, it presents an item in front of you and it asks council what action it is going to instruct the clerk to take.
That's
Yeah.
So,
Propose to accept the risk assessment with that,
with the amendment that you
Yeah.
indicated. Okay. So you.
Can I just point
the
out,
proposal-
Can I just point something out? This is very important, and it's itemised by John's just pointed out at Falside Pond. A proper risk assessment of everything this council owns is essential for you to still be covered by insurance. And you need to know that before you make your decision.
And I am concerned, Chairman, that you've tried to shut me up at this meeting. I was saying things that were relevant to this item on the agenda. I was asking about the risk assessments at Falside Pond, and I am being stopped for speaking by you.
No, Councillor Buckley,
Yes.
I have never stopped you from
I was
indicating.
interrupted by
I have never
Councillor Ward.
stopped you indicating whatever you wish to speak. And I've treated you with full respect. And I will continue to do so.
Chairman,
I am the chairman of this,
with all due
and
respect,
the item before you is for you to decide whether you wish to be for or against the risk assessment that's been taken and the amendments that have been put in.
I was in-
And that is what I'm about to now do. Thank you. Okay, so councillors, you've heard the proposal. You wish to accept the risk assessment with the amendment that has been given. All those in favour? Any against? You?
Blind leading the philosopher.
Is it the pond and take the children to it's a blood death trap?
Assessment, as it clearly states, actually,
Yeah, yeah.
it is not a risk assessment for all
Other items.
risks.
What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't hear. What's going on?
So,
I don't want you to know.
so,
7.4.
for, yeah. 7.4 is to receive and note the internal audit report for November 24 to January 25 enclosed. Council, wish to receive the report?
Noted.
Noted, etc. Are there any against? Everybody accept that? Right, thank you. Seven point five is to agree to move the date of the annual meeting of council to a date in the week beginning the 19th of May 2025.
Chairman, I think that would be a wise thing to do. I think it would be a wise thing to do, and I would like you to ensure that it will be in the evening when people can attend, that the venue is big enough, and that there's a public open forum as possible.
Okay, your comments have been noted, thank you.
Thank you.
So, councillors, you're happy to agree that moving the date for the annual meeting to begin in the week beginning the 19th of May 2025. Okay, all those in favour? Any against? Thank you. Item 8 is planning applications and appeals notified to agree if comments on the that number should be agreed at an extraordinary meeting of the council, and if so, to agree the date of that meeting. So that's what you've chosen to